You tell us your story.
We lent you a camera.
Check it out, look.
You showed up.
We air it. This time, if it sucks, it's your fault.
It's unfiltered. Can't make this stuff up. I wasn't recording any of that.
Hi, I'm Allison Stewart, and this is a special Authority Sucks edition of MTV News Unfiltered.
Hi.
It's not what they say is news, it's what you say is news.
Eisenhower Middle School, demand of no hugging.
Stories that you don't see on the evening news.
My story is about political prisoners, which my father happens to be.
Reporters that aren't named Stone or Wolf or Cokie.
Hello, my name is Ellen Mackay. I help families birth their babies underwater. My name is Tony Valancourt. This curfew has got everybody bumming out up here.
Stories shot by the people.
Mom, I'm taping.
Who are the stories.
The guy behind me is pissed. There we go.
This is the show that has a problem with authority. Hey, you get that camera off of me.
Get that video camera off.
Today on Unfiltered, we'll get tips on how to beat the SAT.
I know, but if you guys listen to what I said today, you will get a better score.
Travel halfway around the world.
What? Dave.
And meet New York City's Mosaic Man.
There's a few oddballs out here.
Our first story is from Clay County, Kentucky, and it involves something that you've probably heard about but never seen. And here's Rebecca Andrews to explain what a certain illegal activity means to her.
My name is Rebecca Andrews. I live in Clay County, Kentucky. Clay County, Kentucky is very, very small. It's a dry county, which means no alcohol. There's really nothing to do. There's no movie theaters. There's no skating rink. Really, the only thing to do is cockfighting. My husband and I raise game fowl, and this is a misdemeanor in Kentucky. It's considered cruelty to animals, and I don't believe that it should be considered cruel to animals because they fight naturally. They'll fight just as soon as they're hatched, just about. Little fluffy yellow chicks fighting each other.
If these chickens weren't on the tie cords, they would kill each other. Not anything man's done to them. It's what they are.
These roosters aren't like the chickens that you buy in the grocery store or at a fast food restaurant. These are game roosters. It's a different breed. It's kind of like the difference between a Chihuahua and a pit bull.
Them's boxing gloves. We put them on the chickens to keep them from putting each other's eyes out.
The boxing gloves that we use on them is for when we're just practicing with them, see how good they fight, see that they're not scared. You don't want to breed one that runs from a fight. You want to breed the one that wins. A derby for the chickens is kind of a wrestling match.
There you go, baby. Don't get in no fight. Come on, son. Yeah, baby.
Now, in the pit, it looks like the handlers are making the roosters fight. They're not. What they're doing is called pecking them up. The best way I can explain this is that they're making the roosters mad at each other more quickly. If they set them down without doing this, they would still fight. They would just take a few minutes working up to it.
Hit them again.
A fight in the pit can last anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. The fight usually ends when a rooster runs or when he's been killed. It's just fun to watch these roosters because, I mean, they're so brave, they won't give up. It's not cruelty to animals because cockfighters don't abuse their roosters. Cockfighting is sport for the roosters because this is what they're good at. It's what they've been bred for and conditioned for, is to be the best fighter that they can be.
If you're 21 years old, you can purchase alcohol, you can vote, you can even see a dirty movie. But if you're under 25, renting a car isn't quite as easy, as David Warner of St. Louis, Missouri showed us.
My name is Dave Warner, and I'm here to show you some of the frustrations that I've faced over the last few years in trying to rent a car under the age of 25. I'm armed only with my Visa Gold card, a valid driver's license, and proof of insurance. Let's see how we do. I'm 24 years old. Am I going to be able to rent a car?
No, you have to be 25.
after 25? Can I pay an extra fee or something like that?
That's just our policy. You have to look back when.
Being under 25, you basically have two options. One is to be denied the service of renting a car altogether. Can I rent a car here if I'm 24 years old? Not at all, huh? Or they will agree to rent you a car, but they usually charge you $20 to $25 more per day than anyone else is charged for that car. I want to find out if I can rent a car here.
Yes. Yeah, there's subcharge $20 a day.
The first one we found was an MX-3, which normally runs $29 a day, but for me, the price was $49. I think I get my arms around it. Interestingly enough, she said to me that if I were over 25, Lincoln Town Car, for about that same cost, I could get a Lincoln Town Car. I think it takes about 3 of these to make up a town car. When I returned to the rental car counters the day I turned 25, totally different story. Today's my 25th birthday, so I wanted to find out, can I rent a car today?
Yeah, you're 25.
Okay, good. Here, I was the same person on the day of my 25th birthday that I was really on my 21st birthday. Yesterday, I couldn't rent a car, but today I can. And all of a sudden, on this arbitrary day, they decide that I'm finally some sort of first-class citizen. I can finally do business with them, and frankly, I'm pretty offended by that.
For the record, many states are actually changing their laws to make this form of age discrimination obsolete. In our last show, we introduced you to Jake Easton. Well, Jake is back with some tips on how to beat the SAT.
Hello, this is Jake Easton one more time from the Princeton Review, and today I'm going to teach you some techniques on actually how to beat the SAT. First thing we're going to look at is something called analogies. And what you have to do is decide if there's a relationship between these two words. So the first thing I'd recommend is, what does degree do for temperature? Does a degree measure temperature? Of course it does. Write that sentence down. A degree is a measure of temperature. And the next thing you want to do is you want to apply that to all the answer choices that they give you, A through E. And you'll find that in lots of cases, the sentence you made will apply to only one of these. And if it does only apply to one of those, that's the right answer. Let's try it. Is heat a measure of cold? No. Is activity a measure of pace? No. Is minute a measure of time? Why, yes it is, my young friend.
Jake will be back with more tips later on the show, so you can put your pencils down for now.
We'll be right back.
It's Unfiltered.
And now, another tip from Jake on how to beat the SAT.
The next technique I'm going to show you is something called sentence completions. They'll give you a sentence, like I said. It'll have a blank. Here's your big blank. And they'll give you a bunch of words down here. The first thing you should do to help yourself out is to cover up these words. Now let's read the sentence. Many predatory animals are very blank, crouching motionlessly for hours until they detect potential prey. Let's see. If you're crouching motionlessly for hours, that'd tell me you're pretty patient. Let's put patient over here. Now, I don't know the answer because I haven't looked. So I can't see. Where is it? I can't confuse myself out of the right answer. Let's look at that first one. A. Does energetic look like patient? No, it does not. And if you think it does, something's wrong. What about patient? Oh my God, it's the same word. It won't come up every time that you pick the same word. Remember, no matter what word you pick, if it looks similar to the one down here in the answer choices, that's the right word.
Jake will be back later with some more tips, but first, a quick reminder. MTV News Unfiltered runs on your phone calls.
I'm a male cheerleader, and I know lots of people have got the wrong idea about male cheerleaders.
Hi, my name is Bahar Mizgani. My story is about the girls' football team that we started at our high school.
So what's your story? Call and tell us. 1-800-296-2445. We're waiting to hear what's on your mind. In the past, MTV News has mailed cameras all over the country. We sent one underwater.
Underwater, the fish think you look crazy anyway.
And even threw one out of a plane. Our next camera went halfway around the world.
I'm a photojournalist, and I try to travel to exotic places. That usually makes the most dramatic pictures. I'm going to Urianjaya to do a documentary photo study of the primitive people and bring back some interesting dichotomies between the cultures that are coexisting. Because it's basically one of the last places that's quote-unquote uncivilized. Well, geographically, Irian Jaya is above Australia to the right of Indonesia, and it's being colonized by the Indonesian people. When I got off the plane, I saw everybody staring, and I was all of a sudden surrounded by what seemed like hundreds of little children. Anytime like someone touched me or I said something, they all would scream like I was E.T. The way to get to the most remote place is to walk. Nama?
Angelina.
Angelina. Nama?
Aber.
Aber. These are my guides. This is what most of the country's like when you get out of the cities. I've been told you eat what you can find.
This is definitely a cultural barrier because it's kind of making me sick.
So it's a very primitive type of life. It's foraging and hunting and living in your hut. The traditional garb for the men is a gourd. It's called a koteka. That's the Indonesian name. It's a penis gourd. It's just this tube that they wear. What struck me most about their way of life was the mix of modern and primitive. They grow their own tobacco, but the most coveted thing for them is a pack of Marlboros. They have clothes because the clothes have been airlifted, and Indonesian government has been trying to get everyone to wear modern clothes.
Say New York City. New York City.
You go to this remote place and you want to see customs, you want to see traditional dances and songs, and they don't really exist except for tourists. So I was always joking around like, oh, sing a song. In Wamena, they're very aware of what tourism brings. They bring out this mummy. They used to use it for spiritual reasons, and now they bring it out and they show it to you and you pay them about $10. They charge money to be photographed and videotaped. Technologically, I don't think anybody really understood what I was doing with my video camera. With my camera, it's been around a lot longer. The cost of civilization is going to disenfranchise these people. They're not going to have land. They're going to lose their culture. I found that the Indonesians don't really believe that the Irians own the land. They're really infatuated with the idea of modernization at the cost of culture. They're encouraging as many Indonesian people to transmigrate to Irian Jaya and settle in every coastal town. It's basically what we did to the Native American population, what the Australians did to the Aborigines. But we can look back with hindsight and regret what we did and how we treated people. This is going on right now.
Thank you.
It's unfiltered.
Okay, the next portion of the test is always the math portion. I hate math. I despise it with a passion. Now, in math, there's something that we can use called guesstimating. Usually works marvelously well on the geometry section. Anyway, what guesstimating means is that you come over here and you look and you see an angle. Say there's an angle for a question, and they ask you, what's the degree of that angle? Well, I don't really know, you say to yourself, but what's a good way to find out? Well, I'll make it a 90-degree angle. You draw a 90-degree angle line here. And wow, because you know a bisected angle equals 45 degrees, that's got to be less than 45 degrees, right? Doesn't look like 20, doesn't look like 15, probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 degrees. So x is equal to probably 30 degrees. You have the wavy lines because it's sort of probably right. And you'll look for an answer that looks like 30 degrees, the closest one to that. Because if you get close enough to it, you're probably going to get it right 99% of the time. I'm not professional about everything I do, except for I know And if you guys listen to what I've said today, you will get a better score.
Birth is a beautiful thing. Watching it, however, might be difficult for some people. So if you are one of those people, for our next story, you might want to close your eyes.
I probably have the best job in the whole world. This is where I work. I get to work with birthing families, and that's just such a miracle for me. This is Mercy Medical Center, downtown Baltimore. My name's Ellen Mackay. I'm a labor and delivery nurse. I'm going to take you into the hospital now, and then we'll take you up to labor and delivery. Okay? Here we go. This is Mirna and Marcelo, and this is their first baby. And this is Mirna's mom. I was wondering why you thought about water birth for your baby.
And we will try do everything natural.
What number grandchild is this for you? Victor. Oh, magic. That's great. It's when a woman is in labor, she's examined, she's given about half an hour worth of electronic fetal monitoring. When she's done all that and we have all of her information, she has some labs drawn. How many people do you know that can stand up while they're in labor, get blood work done with a smile on their face? Not many. How come you're in the shower?
She's accumulated when we're in the shower, she's accumulated heart contractions.
Well, she's 5 centimeters and she's in the water now. We pretty much turn out all the lights, have music playing. The more relaxed they are, the better their labor goes. Usually the partner is behind her, so when she's not having contractions, she can lie back or rest on this person.
We are 8 centimeters. We are almost there.
She labors until she's 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. And she's examined again.
Showtime.
And given the word that it's okay to push.
Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Real hard. Let's get this baby out of there. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Ah! One good push.
Go, push.
There we go.
Baby's head is out.
See that? Okay.
Is there a cord?
Nope.
Cool.
And push. Yeah. Push.
Baby's here. Baby's here. Come on.
Big baby. Great. The baby comes out very calm. This baby's just looking at you.
Suction here.
They just sound happy. They look happy. I just don't see that when kids are born on land. It just seems like everybody's more comfortable and happy and confident. So, this is water birth. What do you think?
No words to describe.
This is a great couple and a wonderful family, and I'll never forget it for as long as I live. Okay, I'm going to turn the lights off so you guys can have some privacy, okay? Mm-hmm. What's your baby's name?
Marceli.
Marceli.
Very cool.
She's beautiful. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, everybody.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
That baby was 11 pounds, and Mom knows she's not in traction. In fact, the baby and Mom are doing just fine. And now, meet Jim Power, the Mosaic Man.
Let's take a little stroll on the east side. Avenue of the Artists. All we're going to do is shine this place up, and actually it's a wonderful oasis and a mecca for artists, and in some cases there's a few oddballs out here. Well, I was doing this for years, and no one knew who was doing it because I was working all different hours. People were saying it was the Mosaic Man, and I ended up getting the name.
It's amazing, and I always wanted to see you doing it, and now I know.
Well, I design them as I go. What we're doing is a structural improvement on what they have out there, which is usually garbage clung to the pole. Black magic glue, various tiles, scraper, tile nipper, protector. I also use it as a hammer. This is a serious effort, folks. I'm practicing the art of peace. Getting set up. We're planning on doing the whole avenue. Once you take the edge off, you're ready. It'll take this year and into next year to finish the entire project. Now, this is a bit of work. This is not as easy as it looks. And it's endless pieces. It's always a good feeling checking this out the next day. Perfect. It would be nice to do the White House next. I'm in charge now. Remember, all the colors make it more beautiful, not just some of the colors. This is the answer. It's the symbol of the new America. It's the symbol of the new artwork. This is a quest to change for the next millennium. That's the way this world's got to be. A community cultural evolution. This is about people. This is about bringing people together. Mosaics will bring the entire world together.
That was Jim Power, and this is Jim Power, and he got a camera because he called 1-800-296-2445. You can do the same, and your story might be on MTV News Unfiltered. Thanks, Jim. Now here's a look at what you'll see on MTV News Unfiltered tomorrow.
See a lot of stupid snowboarders up there.
What do you guys think about skiers?
Skiers suck, man.
I think the media has really portrayed sex as no big deal. I don't think they really focus on how it truly affects people as a whole person.
The entire place just says, come in, spend money, drink coffee, sit down, go away.
Whew, you fart.
And remember, this Friday there is a special Yak Live edition of MTV News Unfiltered as Authority Sucks Week continues.